Alright, so hi guys, it's Tiffany. Like I said, I was going to do this video once I got back home from dialysis, and I have come back home from dialysis, obviously. But, if I look like crap, that is the reason why. Tiffany just did 4 hours of dialysis treatment. Um, but yeah. Like I said, I know we've been talking about this woman, and I know you're sick of seeing me talk about this woman. Frankly, I'm starting to get a little tired of it too, but the reason why I do this and continue to do this is because there are still fans and people who are unaware of this person and what she's doing and what she's about. And, the more I can raise the alarm, the better. That being said, let's dive in. I had to get my notepad and take actual notes to be able to speak on this topic that I didn't even know this had a name until about maybe 2 weeks ago. So we know the baseline of this entire thing. And the funny thing is, this notepad, if you turn back maybe 2 or 3 pages, let me see if I can find it, because I found it when I was sitting in dialysis. Here we go. There's actually the list of notes. I don't know if you can tell, but it's the list of notes that I showed to Taj when I spoke to him November 2nd regarding the same woman. Yeah, we actually sat and talked about this. So, for the uninitiated, since about January, there's been this woman named Evangeline. She is very distinctive looking, I will say that. She's a very distinctive look. You can't mistake her for anybody else. She is, I'm talking about in the realm of the Michael Jackson fan, 3T fan base. She is unequivocally focused on Taj Jackson. Member of 3T, Tito Jackson's oldest son. Yeah, she's crazy about him. And I don't mean like, oh, he's so cute, look at him with his little braids, blah, blah, blah. No, this woman wants him to leave his wife and his family and go live with her. Okay? When I first started talking about her, she was sending me messages until I blocked her, saying this is a private matter between me and Taj, talking about Evangeline and Taj. That I shouldn't be talking about this, that it's not my business to talk about it. Yes, it is. Because you know how I just said this woman thinks she has a relationship with Taj Jackson and that they're like in love with each other and this, that, and the other thing? She's never met Taj Jackson in person. Never even so much as had a Zoom meeting with him. She's never been physically in the same room with this man. She's physically never been in the same state with this man. He lives in California. She lives in New Jersey. I'm in Texas in the middle. But she has been harassing Taj, his family, his friends, his close social circle. She's been harassing me till I got rid of her ass. She's been harassing me. She's been harassing other fans that I know. And, she's just not a good person. So, with my introduction out the way, I learned a new word, and I'm about to teach it to y'all. So, the word is called erotomania. And essentially what that is, I wrote this down, and if Evangeline does happen to see this, because I'm going to post this on YouTube after Facebook, of course. I got my information from Google and from Wikipedia.com. I am citing my sources, because what does Tiffany always have? Proof and receipts that I'm not just pulling this shit out of my hair. Because especially with the name of it, I wanted to make sure that I can point y'all to know that I'm not making this up. Even though I have a big vocabulary and can probably make up words, I didn't make this up. Now, as I said this morning, erotomania, I don't exactly recall when it said that this particular term started to be used to describe this phenomenon, but aspects of it have been documented since antiquity, since Hippocrates. I said that this morning, since Hippocrates. And I could see different, people being cited and mentioned, something from the 1600s, something from the 1700s, something from the 1900s, today. Okay. So, erotomania is a rare delusional disorder, keep that in mind, rare delusional disorder where a person holds an irrational fixed belief that someone, usually a celebrity or a stranger, to them, that means they've never met, is secretly in love with them, despite evidence to the contrary. Now, doesn't that sound very familiar? It sounds very familiar to me, because she's never met this man, and yet her entire modus operandi, has been to get with this man, to be with this man, to be his girlfriend, to be his wife, to be his everything. And, he already has that. His wife, his real wife. The woman that he's been dating since the early 2000s, and they got married, and there's pictures of them married on their wedding day. It was a beautiful wedding. And they have 3 children. He has a whole wife and 3 kids. Let's not forget that. But I'm going to keep peeling the layers of this shit back, because the more I was reading into this, the more my brain was going completely. Okay. Oh. They like to interpret everyday events as secret messages to them. So I have not experienced that shade of crazy with her, but I have, in my research, seen and read different things where people would think, oh, so-and-so wore a purple shirt, and purple's my favorite color, that's a secret message to me. No, they just happen to wear a purple shirt. I mean, think about Michael Jackson. How many times have we seen Michael Jackson wear a red button-up shirt? If somebody's favorite color is red, their head had to be shooting off with sparks. What does Taj Jackson wear all the time? Black zip-up hoodie all the time. If somebody else has a black zip-up hoodie, I actually had on my black hoodie and took it off, because I said, I literally looked in the viewfinder and was like, I look like Taj, I'm dressed like Taj. So, I said, I said, I don't want to do this dressed or looking even remotely like him, because I don't want her to fall in love with me too. What the fuck? Okay. They become focused on object. Now, the description I was reading, they didn't call the person a person, like the celebrity or whoever the object of affection is. They were referring to them like an inanimate object for whatever reason. But become focused on an object, may try to contact the object, and view rejection as a need for secrecy. Does this all sound so familiar? Tried to contact Taj. Tried to contact his family. Continues to do so despite being blocked. Let's not forget that word. That word is very important. Blocked. The need for secrecy. When I threw my little hat into the ring, all I was getting was, this is private. This is a personal matter between me and Taj. You shouldn't be talking about this. You shouldn't be able to do all of this and blah, blah, blah. And there is no personal dealings between her and Taj Jackson. There never was. And pretty certain, willing to bet my money on, There won't ever will be. There will never be. Okay, let's see. Now, this is what I found interesting, is that erotomania can manifest alone, or it can be walking hand in hand with the bipolar disorder and schizophrenia. And I have personally shown pictures of Evangeline to other people because, you kind of want to be able to recognize that threat if it's coming at you. And every single person I've showed that picture to has said, now keep in mind, because she will try to come into the comments and scream, you're not authorized to have pictures of me. You can't have pictures of me. I pulled it off of Twitter and Facebook, public platforms. Anybody who can right click can, save that picture and wreck their hard drive, but save that picture. Now, I do not know her mental, history. I don't know that. All I know is what I've experienced and what I've witnessed, directed to myself, and what Taj has told me, what other people in Taj's social circle has told me, and what my friends have told me pertaining to their dealings with her. And considering the way that she likes to continuously lie and switch up the story and flip the narrative and turn the narrative and braid the narrative, these could also be undiagnosed. Now, I am not a physician. I am not a medical professional in any way. I just play one on TV. But I'm saying, by the end of this, you're going to be like, if it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, I'm pretty goddamn sure it's a duck. Alright, let's flip the page. Which I still have scads, more notes. I know I have terrible handwriting. Okay, let me see. Persistent, I believe that the second page is, from this page on, is stuff that I got off of Wikipedia. Yeah, Wikipedia. And if you want to spell the word, it's erotomania. Erotomania. Did I win spelling bee? Okay, so it's persistent, unfounded conviction that the other person loves them romantically. In my dealings with this person, I have seen her, it literally, I've said this so many times, it literally went from her, have Taj say hi to me, on camera, and unfortunately I think I'm going to stop doing that, because I do not want to have this situation again with a different person at a later date. But it went from that to her saying, have him come to my school. Have him, because she works as a security guard or some shit at the school. Have him come to my school. And, it was kind of like, because I have heard other people ask me, can Taj, or, Terrell or TJ or whoever come to where I'm at? And it's just like, no, it really doesn't work that way. Like, the only way I meet Taj is if I go to California. Has no reason to be in Texas, but that I know of. And it blossomed. It didn't blossom. It snowballed. From that, blossomed, this means it's a good thing. It snowballed, which is terrible. It snowballed to the point where she was saying, she was dictating through me, like I just had a physical hand on Taj Jackson somewhere, what he's supposed to wear. Even to the point where she was saying, wear one of his father's hats. Like, I haven't seen Taj in a bowler hat since, like, the 90s, honestly. Wear a suit, wear cologne, do this, kiss me on my face. I mean, these are direct quotes from her. And if you look through the posts I've made, you will see the screen caps with that on. I'm not just pulling this shit out of my hair. This isn't even my hair. I am not pulling this shit out of my hair. Okay. And she really honestly thinks that she has a relationship with this man. Like I said, she's never met this man in her life, but she thinks she has a romantic relationship with this man. And she doesn't. Like, if I don't smile and laugh and joke about it, I'm going to start crying. So, because, you know, it bothers me on a very deep level, a deep personal level, because I consider Taj Jackson a friend of mine. And, you know, this man is out here just trying to live his life. You know, he doesn't deserve any of this. He just lost his father a little over a year ago. And, you know, it just seemed like she came onto the scene right after this happened. So he's still dealing with that. And then, oh my God, what the hell is this that I have to deal with now? And the thing that pisses me off is, you know, Taj is the most genuine, nicest, most intelligent person I've ever personally met. You know, he's very nice, very cordial, very low-key and everything. He doesn't deserve any of this shit. He doesn't cause any trouble to anybody. He doesn't do anything. He's just living his life that he's been building for over 50 years. And then here comes this wrecking ball named Evangeline that nobody ever heard of. Okay, so it says that the target is of a higher status, which I would consider Taj to be that, yeah, because he is, you know, Tito Jackson's son. He's Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson, all the famous Jackson's nephew. His cousin Jafar is portraying Michael Jackson in the biopic that comes out next year. So yeah, he's a celebrity, and he's a celebrity in his own right as a singer, a performer, a photographer, you know, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, he is a celebrity in his own right, but he has earned that. Okay, and then it says lack of contact. Yeah. She spiraled. That is the only term I can think of. She spiraled when Taj cut off contact. When his brother, did I mention that she was, you know, going after his brothers, going after his wife, going out, when I said his social circle, I mean his friends that like live in California, that, you know, he probably grew up with as a child, and, you know, they grew up into men and women together. All of them close ranks, because, you know, I see other fans following like his wife and following this, that, and the other thing, but I personally don't mess with the wives. I personally don't. Like, if I see them in person, of course I'm going to introduce myself and be cordial and everything, but I don't follow them on social media. I feel like that's their private life, and I have no part in that. So, lack of contact. Everybody closed ranks on her. Everybody closed ranks on her. I started talking, and I'm not going to stop talking. I started talking. Everybody closed ranks. She lost her fucking mind. Because she didn't have access to us. We were her stepping stones in this impossible quest to claim Taj as her own. You never had Taj. You're never gonna have Taj. Like, come on. Oh, did I forget to mention she's 38 years old? This is not a kid. This is not a teenager. Now, if this was a 15 or a 16-year-old freaking out over somebody, I'd be more inclined to be a little bit more lenient. I wouldn't be on here saying, oh, I think she has this mental disorder and somebody needs to look into that. No, not if this was a kid, but this is a woman who's approaching the age of 40. Now keep that number in mind, 38. That is a grown woman. Grown-ass woman. Okay, let me see. Becomes deeply invested in imagined relationship, leading to intrusive behaviors. How about that? So I have been seeing these intrusive behaviors. Let me put my notebook down for a second. I have seen these intrusive behaviors as of late. Like, if the people who were coming in to this absolutely not knowing what was going on, you weren't there. But before she started to get booted from the fan clubs, started to get booted from everything, You could post anything about any Jackson in, a fan club, and you could be like, oh, I love, just trying to think of some damn obscure song by Michael Jackson. Oh, I love Blue Gangsta by Michael Jackson. That's like my favorite song. That's my jam. You'll have the comment section where people say, oh yeah, I like Blue Gangster. Oh, I've never heard of that song. Let me go listen to that. Here she comes. Oh yeah, Michael Jackson is great. He's the king of pop. I mean, that's like the mandatory, like that's what everybody says. Like, and then she'll go into some diatribe about Taj. Taj had nothing to do with that song. Taj didn't sing on it. He didn't write it. He didn't produce it. He didn't perform it. This post has absolutely nothing to do with Taj Jackson whatsoever, other than speaking about his relative. And, this would be all across the board on every Jackson forum, whether it's just 3T, whether it's just Michael Jackson. I'm in a club that's like 17,000 strong and has, it covers all the Jacksons, Michael, Janet, Latoya, Jermaine, all of them, Jermaine's hair. It follows all of them. And she would find some way to steer the conversation to Taj without fail. Like, okay, I just mentioned Jermaine Jackson. So, Jermaine was a meme for about 5 minutes because he has a very unique hairstyle. And, everybody was talking more so about, oh, Jermaine's unique hairstyle. Or, oh, good, he's here. He's going to be helping his son to promote the film. That was the two schools of thought that I saw. Was people else talking about his hair or talking about, him in relation to his son being in the film. So, these two schools of thoughts. I'm over here thinking, oh, he's going to be at the film premiere sometime. Here she come. Oh, Jermaine is back in the United States. I wonder if he's hanging out with Taj. I kid you the fuck not. That's what she said. And I'm just like, yeah, that's cool that Taj is his nephew and everything, but I would think he would be here for his son, who is starring in a major motion picture in, 5 months' time? Like, get it together, sister. But yeah, like, when I closed ranks and everybody else closed ranks, she was quite literally, now here is, what is that word that I am thinking of? I think it's hypocrisy. I think the word is hypocrisy. She was being a hypocrite. Because she was saying, I have this personal message. I need Taj to see this message. It is a very personal message. And in the same breath, she was sending this exclusive, personal, private, allegedly, message to anybody she could sink her hooks into and be asking them, send this to Taj. Hey, can you send this message to Taj? Can you send this message to Taj? And part of the message did say, I am a very good-looking girl. Girl, please. I'm the girl of your dreams. Yeah, if it was sponsored by Freddy Krueger, Nightmare on Elm Street. Yeah, this is the message that she was sending to other fans to have them try to send to Taj Jackson for her. Why can't you send it directly to Taj, honey? He blocked her. He doesn't want to hear that noise. He doesn't want shit to do with her. He doesn't. He does not. Sorry. Sorry, Jan. Sorry, Evangeline. Let me see. So, I also looked at treatment options for what I do, my educated guess. And come on, y'all. We all know I'm intelligent. If I wasn't sick, we all know I'd be doing amazing things mentally. I would be a teacher. I would be writing novels. I would be doing all of that. But instead, I'm on dialysis. Well, I am still writing. Early intervention is key. So, I'm talking about all of this. And this is leading up to something. Because I have examples of this phenomenon. This is not just a singular thing that's just her. There's documented cases. And as I said in my previous video, there are points that I'm sure everybody knows. There's, examples of this that were very public that a lot of people saw. So, okay. Early intervention is key. Antipsychotics and therapy may be needed. And like I said, she's 38 and she's already circling the drain. And they think therapy may be needed to focus and manage the illusion. That is a direct quote from Wikipedia. To manage the illusion. So, it is very clear that this is all imagined. This is all in the mind. This is all in her head. This is all her own story that she has created herself in her head. Okay, and it is classified as a delusional disorder. So every time my friend has said, this bitch is delulu, you have actually been right. Okay. Known cases. Now, I did mention earlier that there is a higher incident of this occurring in female patients than males, although males who suffer from this particular ideation, I guess, are more inclined to react violently. And I wanted to say that before I read this, because have you ever heard of a man called John Hinckley Jr.? Yeah, that's the guy who tried to assassinate President Reagan in 1981. Yeah. Do you know why he shot Ronald Reagan? It didn't have anything to do with tariffs or a big beautiful bill or anything like that. John Hinckley Jr. was in love, in his mind, with actress Jodie Foster. And his way of proving his love to Jodie was to kill Reagan. Or at least attempt to, because, Reagan survived, of course, and was president till 1989. And as a side note, Jodie Foster is a lesbian. So, even if he could have gotten within a country mile of this woman, he was peddling his fish in the wrong market. So, we have John Hinckley Jr. And, let me see. John Hinckley Jr. was institutionalized. I have it written up here. Okay. Another familiar name. Also I think that was 1980, though. Mark David Chapman. The guy that shot John Lennon, the Beatle? Yeah, him. Now, this is a bit different. They said that he was initially a fan of John Lennon, a fan of the Beatles, and at some point he became hostile about him. He was really into this book called Catcher in the Rye. I've never read that book. I have heard of it, but I've never read it. And I don't know, he just did not like that Lennon was living a lavish lifestyle, I guess because he was a celebrity, and Mark David Chapman clearly wasn't. And, he shot and killed him, unfortunately. He did succeed in killing the celebrity. He killed him. I wish it kind of had been like Reagan, and Reagan he would have just gotten nicked and lived, but, that's what happened. And what's even spookier is you see a picture of John Lennon signing an autograph from Mark David Chapman earlier in the same day before he shot and killed John Lennon. So, Mark David Chapman is in prison for life. He will die in prison. So, another thing that I found interesting, this has nothing to do with Evangeline for the moment, but both Mark David Chapman and John Hinckley were both born in 1955. 19 days apart. One was born May 10th, one was born May 29th. I found that to be quite interesting. Now, another one that my friend, that I didn't look up, but I have heard of it, was Rebecca Schaeffer. in the 80s, in the late 80s, I think it was about 1988 or 1989, there was this actress. She was on this TV show called My Sister Sam, and this man was obsessed with her. And he went through all types of channels. I don't want to say what he used to locate her, because I do not want to give anybody any bright fucking ideas. But he managed to go through certain channels and discover where Rebecca Schaeffer lived. Went to her house, knocked on the door, and when she opened the door, he shot and killed her. 22 years old. Ridiculous. Now, I know you're saying, Tiffany, well, you've just outlined 3 different men. Evangeline is a woman, allegedly. Evangeline is a woman. Do you have any cases of women? Yes I do. And the thing that's wild is, I was alive during this story happening, and I saw it as it unfolded as a kid. Not in person, of course, but through the news, because it literally made the news. It was on the news. It was on local news. It was on national news. The tabloids picked it up. It was a sensation for a few years. So there's this woman named Margaret Mary Ray, right? So now this is going to loop back around to Evangeline. Bear with me. I always have a point. She is famous because she managed to stalk not 1, but 2 people. 2 famous people. The object of her affection, first of all, was David Letterman. You know, the guy from The Late Show? Him. She was obsessed with him. Now, I read she has a Wikipedia page of her own. I read I don't know what the fuck caused her to snap, but she lived, she got married, she went to college, she had a job, she did all of these things, and then all of a sudden, she's crazy about David Letterman. And I remember, even, because all of this happened when I was about 12, so about 1998, 1997, 1998 or so, is when I was hearing about this woman. So, sometime in the early 90s, the police pulled her over and arrested her. She was driving David Letterman's Porsche. Do you hear me? She had gone, found this man's house, broken into his house, took his damn car, and was joyriding. And to put even more salt in the wound, when she was pulled over, there was a toddler in the car with her. Her 3-year-old son. When the police pulled this woman over, she said, because obviously she's driving a car registered David Letterman, she says she's David Letterman's wife, she's Mrs. Letterman, and that her son, the kid's name is Alex, her son is their son. I had it written down. Yes, I do. Oh, I've pointed off to a different page. Here we go. Yeah, stole Letterman's Porsche, had her 3-year-old son in the car. Claim Letterman, yeah. She goes on to be arrested on 8 different occasions. You hear me? 8. 8 different occasions in correlation to David Letterman. For trespassing on his property. Multiple times. This is what I remember hearing as a kid. 12-year-old me remember hearing this woman broke into his house. They keep finding her in his fucking house. She's taking his vehicles. They're always finding her somewhere on his damn property. She was found sleeping on a tennis court near his property. I wrote that. Made the news publicly. Yeah, because I definitely remember hearing that shit like on MTV News. Because I was 12 and it was the 90s. What else am I watching? Okay. So it says she served 34 months in jail for stalking Letterman. Now, does this sound like somebody already? Does this sound like somebody? Now, She's gone through all of this. Been dragged for filth. I'm talking about Margaret. Been dragged for filth by David Letterman and everything. She get out of jail. What does she do next? Now keep in mind, when she was in jail, they were giving her the antipsychotics and kind of had her erotomania under control. As soon as she got out of there, she was like, fuck these pills. I've never heard of the gentleman. But she moved on to stalk an astronaut named Story Musgrave. He's still alive. David Letterman's still alive. I had to check to make sure David Letterman was still alive. I had him mixed up with Johnny Carson. But yeah, she moved on to stalk astronaut Story Musgrave. Wrote him letters, made phone calls. Sound familiar? Sent packages. It says in 1994 she posed as a reporter and interviewed him at the Space Center in fucking Houston. Like, that's scary to me. Let's hold on about this. That's scary because she got close enough to say, hey, what is your take on what the fuck ever? And see, this is why I put her picture everywhere. Why I put Evangeline's picture everywhere. So that people could see her and know her when she shows up. You can't miss that face. That is a very distinctive face. Now, I'm not saying it's a beautiful face. I'm just saying she has very distinctive features that would stand out in a crowd and probably make Quentin Tarantino shake. Okay, so I'm still not done. Let me see. Okay, she posed as the reporter. She spoke to him. Then in 1997, she showed up at his home saying that they were writing a book together. Ma'am. And this story does not end well. On October 5th, 1998, after she had gotten done serving more jail time for harassing Mr. Musgraves, the astronaut from Florida, she took her own life. She committed suicide by train. I can say this because my video is not going to be monetized, so I can say the real words. She committed suicide by train. I think that's why they were talking about her when I heard about it as a kid, was, you know, the end of this story, and let's look at this story. Now, here's the thing. This lady stalked two different celebrities, David Letterman and this astronaut. Taj Jackson is not Evangeline's first target. Taj is actually Evangeline's Story Musgraves. She is the second that I know of. There could be other people. Like I said, this bitch is 38. Before her fixation on Taj, I had another stranger who I've never even met come up to me and say, hey, yeah, I've seen her. She's obsessed with this guy named Michael Damian. I had no idea who Michael Damian was. I had to Google him. He was a soap opera star in the 80s and 90s. So, I mean, I really don't watch soap operas, so I don't know the name of the actors and actresses on the show, so forgive me, I'm not one of those people. But, I do like watching The Bold and the Beautiful, but I can stand giving him 30 minutes of my time. But, he was not on The Bold and the Beautiful, so I don't know. I think she said he was on The Young and the Restless, at some point during that time, and I believe he sings also. Like I said, I don't know a damn thing about this man. But I do notice that when I went further back through Evangeline's many profiles, you actually see the break where it's Tosh, break. Michael. And it's not even Michael Jackson. Michael. And the exact same shit she was doing to Taj. I'd love to meet you. I'd love to do impressions with you. Can you sing a song and put my name in a song? I swear to fucking God. God forgive me. I swear to God on all things holy. She asked both of these men to, hey, make a song and put my name in it. And as if creating a song to put out to the masses is a very quick and cheap thing. Get the fuck out of here. See, now I know more about the technical stuff behind the making of a song from my In the Studios with TJ Jackson. If her stupid ass would have stayed longer than 10 minutes instead of interrupting the man. Like I said, if I don't laugh, I'm gonna start crying. Cause goddamn. On a serious note, though, it is a series of actions and a series of things she is doing that are constantly repeating. And if you hear banging, that's my upstairs neighbor. They have kids. The same blueprint of what she was doing to this Michael Damian man, she was doing and is currently doing to Taj, as far as trying to reach out and get in touch with anybody who could even whisper at Taj for her. And I think she latched on to me because, you know, she sees that I was able to go, you know, sit and have coffee with Taj and hang out with Taj and laugh and joke and whatever. And you got to understand that I only met Taj Jackson 3 years ago, right? I have been a fan of him and his two brothers since 1998. You know, that wasn't something where, you know, I met them overnight. It wasn't something where I was messaging them and, oh, all of a sudden, we're friends. No. I remember the first time I tried to contact Taj Jackson. It was on MySpace. Do you know how long ago that was? I was on MySpace. And was sending him little things off of blingy.com saying, hi Taj, have a good day out. Of course he ignored it because who the fuck was I? But it wasn't like I was just badgering this man constantly. No. See, the thing is that she does not recognize or want to recognize is that this is a person. You know? This is a person. And if you want to approach somebody to it doesn't have to be a celebrity. If you was just to approach a random person on the street to try to talk to them, to try to engage them, you have to go about it a certain way. You have to carry yourself a certain way. You have to behave a certain way. And, you know, everybody has boundaries. Everybody has lines that you can't cross. I mean, that's different for every single person because every single person in this world is different. But if somebody made it clear to me, hey, I don't want crap to do with you anymore, that would be a pretty loud red flag for me that, hey, maybe I should leave this person alone. Because, you know, I mean, I've gone through it in other videos. I don't feel like going that in depth into this because my foot is actually hurting and I need to stop so I can sit down. But, because I'm standing. But, I don't know, there's just been, like, the total disregard for the fact that he is married. The total disregard that he is a father with kids. That she is wanting him to leave his wife. She is wanting him to leave his kids. We all know this shit ain't gonna happen. But just the audacity to even think of that in the first place. That you are trying to send messages to him where you're like flirting with him and saying, you know, I'm the girl of your dreams. I'm this, I'm that. And I know she will light up the comments and be saying, you know, this is a lie. I've been hacked. And I'm sick and tired of asking her, show the proof that you've been hacked. And she wants to send shit to me to show, oh, I've been hacked. And I'm just like, I'm not bothering Taj or anybody with this. You have as much access as I do. I'm going to keep saying that until she does something. You have as much access. You have a Facebook. You have access to Facebook Live. You have a YouTube channel that you've had for 5 years without a single video on it, honey. Upload some shit. You know what I do? I'm filming this on my phone, but this goes to my Facebook page as soon as I hit finish. I go on my laptop. I download it to my folder on my computer. Upload it to YouTube. 10, 15 minutes. There's a video. So if she want to talk all this big talk, shoot a video. Shoot a video. Because she loves to talk in messages. She loves to talk in comments. She loves to argue and fight in the comments. And show your face. We've all seen it. But show your face in this regard. I am speaking directly to her. And, as many times as I've said, go public. Tell your story publicly. Show us all of this magnificent imaginary proof and receipts and all of this stuff that you have. And she has not gone on once. Kind of sus, ain't it? But yeah, thank you for coming to my lecture about erotomania. I hope we all learned something today. I know I did, because I went down a complete rabbit hole today while I was in dialysis. And I wanted to get this off my chest now, because starting tomorrow I am doing the big clean, getting ready for Christmas. So yeah, for everybody who celebrates Christmas, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah. I know I'm going to put something up before New Year's, but if I don't see you before then, Happy New Year's. And yeah, if you see Evangeline Duros, stay away from her. Right? And I'm proud that Nuni got to watch me do this too. Say hi, Nuni. I know I'm weird. I'm weird, but not crazy. Alright. Bye, y'all. And everybody have a good night except Evangeline.